Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. In today's video, I'm going to share with you some of my kitchen favorites / essentials. These are things that I use mostly on a daily, day-to-day basis. I do cook, average like 3 meals a day, so a lot of these things come in handy for me. And I'm not going to talk about like the obvious things for kitchen essentials, such as, spoon, like just your silverware, your plates, cups, things like that, just because it's kind of obvious and you already, I'm sure, know that those are things you need. So I'm just going to talk about mainly things that I like that help me get through a full day of cooking, and just things that make my life a little bit easier, but things I've used for a lot of the things I've used for years and years that have really stood up and held up to the quality that I'm looking for. So if you want to know what I like to use when I'm cooking, then please keep watching. So we're going to start off with your classic chef knife. This one is by the brand J.A. Henkel's. It's a German brand. This is the Professional S 8-inch knife. This is what it looks like. I'm sorry if it's hard to see. I'll try to do maybe like pictures of close-ups so you can see. Otherwise, I'll link things below if you're interested. But this is just a very classic, popular knife, your basic chopping knife, I wouldn't say carving knife, but I use this honestly for like everything. I got this as a gift when, I believe my mom gave it to me when I graduated high school. So I've used it ever since. I love it. It's very well balanced. When you're looking for a chef knife of something like this, something along these lines, you want to find one that's nice and balanced, where the handle is really good quality. It's not too long or too short, depending on the need for it, but you also want to make sure it fits comfortably in your hand. It has a decent weight to it. Ones that are too light, to me, I don't like, because I feel like it's just not going to hold up. I do have a few other brands that I do like, but this one is probably my favorite that I've used. I'd love to get more of these. I think this is the only one I have in this brand, but they have a whole line of other kind of knives that I'm interested in. So this is my favorite, just classic chef knife. And I also use a couple of smaller knives. They look a lot like steak knives. They might be true steak knives. I don't know. I just kind of call them my paring knife. And there's two different kinds. There's this one that has a serrated edge, and then there's this one that looks more just like a chef knife. I think these are both a little bit bigger than a paring knife, but it's kind of the same idea the way I use them. The one with the serrated edge is amazing. This one's by the brand Rada, R-A-D-A, and this one with the smooth blade is Chicago Cutlery. This one's amazing, or just really, really good at cutting like tomato. Something that has like a soft skin that you don't want to puncture too bad. I mean, honestly, this thing will cut anything so well. It'll cut chicken, if you're trying like butterfly chicken, cheese, you name it. This is a really good one. I really enjoy this. They have a lot of other ones that we have as well, but this one's my favorite out of their whole line, at least the ones that we have. And then this one is about the same. This one I use if I need to cut something a little bit faster, or if I have just like a little bit of onion, maybe I'm cutting, garlic is good for. It's just an overall good knife, and I think it's mainly a steak knife, but I use it a lot for cutting smaller things. And the last thing I'm going to mention in the line of knives is a good knife sharpener. I use this every day when I'm cutting. When I sharpen my chef knife, I usually do it after every, I don't know, 5 uses or so. That may be too much, that may not be enough, I don't know, but that's kind of what I have found that I'm good with. But this is a really good one. This actually came with a knife block that we got for our wedding from the brand Chicago Cutlery. I think this knife also, this smaller one also came in there as well, but I don't think it has to be any specific brand. This is the only one I had. So this one works for us, and I definitely recommend this. You want to be cutting with a sharp knife. If you're cutting with a dull knife, that really increases your chances of hurting yourself. The knife is slipping and you cutting yourself, and it's just not going to be the same quality. So make sure you keep your knife sharp. A few other cooking utensils I use every day is this wooden spoon. I use this with my non-stick pans. I've had this for years. It is so worn out, but it's honestly my favorite. I have several other wooden spoons. I'm just looking at my drawer over there. That helps, but I have several other wooden spoons, but this one's my absolute favorite. I always use it every day, several times a day, and you know, it's one of those things you need if you have like a non-stick pan, a pan that you don't want scratched. I recommend like a wooden spoon or some kind of like rubber spatula spoon, something along those lines. But this one I love. I don't know the brand of it. It wore off years ago, but you know, it's just your basic wooden spoon. It has kind of like the circle tip, I guess. And yeah, it's held up, and I hope it doesn't ever break on me because I haven't seen one like this around. So we'll see how that goes. Next is a metal spoon that has the slats, I guess, little cutouts in the top of it. This is great if you're cooking vegetables, you're trying to strain them out of the water, you don't want to get water everywhere. You know, this is a really good spoon for that. It's good for cooking. I like to use this with ground beef if I'm cooking in my cast iron pan or whatever, but I mean, it's really just universal. It's a good cooking spoon. I enjoy having one. It's something that I find very useful throughout my whole cooking experience. A good set of tongs. These are just metal stainless ones. I also have a pair of rubber tongs, or you know, stainless, but they have the rubber tips that are great too. I'll use that in my non-stick pan. I use a whisk all the time when I'm making scrambled eggs, when I'm making gravies, when I'm cooking or mixing up like cake batter, brownie batter, whatever it is. I mean, it's kind of obvious what a whisk is for, but make sure you have one of these on hand. The last few cooking utensils are, I have a garlic press. Normally I just chop it by hand. If you watch my videos, you see me using that knife I mentioned earlier a lot, and I use a few other ones, but I use a garlic press every so often. And I'd say more than every so often, but I really like it. If I don't feel or have the time to cut garlic and really get it finely grated, I'll use this. And it's nice. It is kind of a hassle to clean, but you know, it saves you time, and that's something that I definitely am on the lookout for nowadays. The last two cooking utensils are these rubber tipped ones. This, I don't know the brand. Maybe I got these at H-E-B, I don't know, but I needed something when I picked up my set of new pots and pans. I needed something that wouldn't scratch it, and I saw these. They're nothing fancy, they're not expensive, they're just your basic spatula set. I'm pretty sure I got it from H-E-B, but this is good. You don't want to scratch your pans if they are non-stick. It just helps keep the integrity and the quality of them a little bit longer, but these are nice. They're nice and flexible. They're good when you're doing scrambled eggs, so you can really work in the sides of the pan, because I find that my scrambled eggs always, you know, get on the side of the pan, and it's hard to get that if you have like one of those really stiff spatulas. So this is a really good set to have. Something along these lines, not the exact same, but something like this. The next thing on my list is measuring spoons. I have 3 sets of measuring spoons. I don't know why I have 3 sets, but you know, I love cooking. I love cooking, not gadgets, but cooking utensils. So I just collect things, I guess. So this is my favorite set. They're just really pretty. I think these came as a gift to me. I don't know the brand, it doesn't say, but they're kind of cute, they're fancy, and they do the job. You need a pair of measuring spoons, especially if you're starting out cooking, if you're baking, because in baking things need to be a little bit more precise to be for the cake, cookies, pie, whatever it is you're making to turn out correctly. And if you are new to cooking, you know, and you're not comfortable just doing a couple shakes of something here and there, whatever it is, then get yourself a set of measuring spoons. It makes your life a lot easier and helps your confidence level cooking if you are new to cooking. And the same thing goes with measuring spoons or measuring cups. I have 2 sets of cups. These are, I just happen to pick these up all the time. This is from BHG brand. I'm pretty sure that's Better Home and Garden. I don't know where I got them, but that is an essential that I think everyone needs, a set of measuring cups. The next thing I use all the time is my Pyrex measuring bowl. And you know, there's not too much to say about it. It's great. I use it in the microwave all the time if I need to boil water fast. We used to make tea in it quite often. I use it for dry ingredients, wet ingredients. I use it when I need to whisk something for like a gravy, whatever. I mean, you name it, we've most likely used it for that. So definitely get a good mixing bowl, measuring bowl, I'm sorry. You may not need it, but this I like because it holds up to 4 cups. I have one that is a 2 cup, a 4 cup, and an 8 cup. I find that the 4 cup is best universally, you know, not all the time I need something that's 8 cups, and this is a good average size that I use. The next thing I am going to mention is a mixing bowl. I have so many mixing bowls. I have stainless steel mixing bowls. I have old ceramic mixing bowls, plastic. I just have so many, but this one's my favorite. It's stainless steel, it has a rubber bottom. It's nice because it cuts back on noise when you set it down on surfaces or in the sink when you're washing things. It's just nice. It's a good size. I don't know the diameter of it, but it's just the basic average size. I have a couple bigger ones that I use if I'm making like a cake and I need a bigger bowl for like the flour batter, but this one is really good. Find yourself a good mixing bowl that'll last you for a while. This one I've had for years. Most of the stuff I'm mentioning I've had for years and years, except a few of the things I've had newer, which are the rubber spoon or the rubber spatula set and my pots and pans I'm going to talk about in just a minute. I use a strainer all the time when I'm cleaning vegetables. I use a strainer all the time. You know, if you're boiling pasta, you need to drain it. If I'm cleaning vegetables, fruit, that kind of thing, I'm always using a strainer. So this is a nice deep one. It has nice weight to it. This has lasted me years. I'm pretty sure I got this too when I graduated high school. I got several things since I moved away right after I graduated, and I pretty much got hooked up with like really, really good kitchen stuff. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for that. But this one has lasted me. I love it. You really should find one. I've had a plastic one too, and I wouldn't recommend getting a plastic one. They're cheap, and most of them, not all of them, you know, I don't know. I just have a thing for working with stainless steel, I guess, in the kitchen. But this one's good. I use this all the time. And if you watch my cooking videos, you know I cook with a cast iron pan all the time. This is the one I have out to show you. It came pre-seasoned, which is pretty cool. And this one, I think, is probably the 9 or 10 inch, I believe. We have 2 other ones. I have a smaller one that's probably like that big around, and then we have that really big one. But I love cooking with a cast iron pan. I'll cook. The other night I made shepherd's pie, so I cooked with that. I use the bigger one now. You cook it on the stovetop and you put it into the oven right away. You can cook brownies in it. You can do cornbread. I mean, you name it. It's nice because it has a dual purpose, and it's a very good quality pan to work with. So I really love my cast iron. And I picked up, I don't know, I think it was probably last year, a new set of pots and pans because I was needing something, well, not needing, but I was wanting something newer. So the set we were using before was my husband's set he got, I believe, when he graduated college, maybe. They were great. They lasted, you know, they've lasted a long time, but they were the Teflon, they were a non-stick. I don't know what brand it was, but the stuff was starting to come off and that was really bothering me. So I was doing some research on non-stick pans and I came across this brand. This is from Green Pan. I'm not going to show every single one because there's like 6 of them that came in the box, but this is it's a stainless steel outer, and then your non-stick on the inside, and it's non-toxic as well, and that's what I really like about it. So this is from the brand Green Pan. I love it. It came with a small little saucepan this size. It came with like a nice frying pan and like a deeper dish for cooking your like stews, chili, soups, boiling pasta, that kind of thing. So I really, really like that brand. If you're looking for a nice one, check out Green Pan. You may like what you see. Okay, I'm nearing the end of my list. The next thing I want to talk about is my casserole dish. This is my favorite one. I have, I don't know, 5 probably. It's overkill, but I have other sizes too, which is nice. So this one is your standard 13 by 9, and it's from Giada de Laurentiis. This one is from Target, but you know, I don't think it really matters the brand, but this one's held up for years. I believe we got it for our wedding, maybe. And I don't know, I cook with it all the time. There's no cracks in it. It hasn't chipped anywhere. It's a really good one. I don't know what it costs. I don't think it was that expensive, but when I'm cooking, because I cook so much, I tend to buy things that are, I wouldn't say very pricey, but better, you know, higher price than average, I guess, just because I know I'm going to use them all the time because I cook all the time, and I want it to stand up. I want it to last. So that is that. I picked up a few new baking sheets because if you saw my other ones, my old ones that I've had since high school, they're pretty like grungy, I guess. They're seasoned themselves. I use them all the time. I just wanted something new. These are non-stick. These are, I think I just said it, from Target. What is the brand? Made by Design. So I guess that's Target's brand, and it's a 12 by 17 inch. Excuse me. It's really nice. I can put like cookies on it without having to put parchment paper down or non-stick foil, whatever it is you use, and it works great. This has like a textured bottom, but this one is really good. Make sure you get yourself a good set of baking cookie sheets. I've made it down now to the last item, and of course that is my cutting board right here. I cannot leave this out because, like I said, if you watch my videos, you know I use this in like 99.9% of them. This exact one, it's bamboo. It's Simply Bamboo. I guess that's the brand. I don't remember where I've got it. I've had it for years, but I love cutting boards. I have like 3 wood ones. I have a couple of the plastic ones, like the flimsy ones that are good too, but this is my go-to for anything. I love it. It's nice weight. Doesn't shift on you when you are cooking or when you're cutting. A few of mine do that because they've kind of warped, but they're like the plastic ones, and that's not safe because you could easily cut your finger, cut your hand, whatever it is. So find yourself a good cutting board. I love the wooden cutting boards. I cut everything on it. I don't cut chicken on it just because I'm trying to keep everything free of salmonella, possibility of all that. So I usually don't I don't cut chicken on this cutting board. I use it on one of the flimsy plastic ones, but yeah, I love a good cutting board. This one's a nice size, so I can cut several things on it instead of a small one where I'm cutting one thing, then I'm having to move it right away. So, you know, to get to the next thing. That's gonna do it for my kitchen favorites and essentials. I hope this video helped you if you're in the market for looking for something, or if you're starting out, if you know, just moved away from home, or if you're starting, you know, new journey into cooking. I hope you found this useful. Maybe, you know, I gave you a tip or two that you did not know before about cooking. I've been cooking for years, so I feel like I have a really good collection of things that I found that worked for me. I'm not too much into like the gadgets as I am more the functional things. So I don't have like an egg slicer or an apple slicer, those things, but not to say they're not. They have their purpose. They're really good to have if you need one. I'm just so used to cutting everything myself, kind of like the old fashioned way, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.